Time for insightful thinking and intelligent new beginnings as we get the new moon in Gemini on Monday, May 26th. With Mercury in the sign of rulership, your mind is powerful and quick, urging you to explore exciting new directions, problem solve, and share your message in the verbal and written form. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. As always, if you enjoy my work, please take a few seconds to leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Watch more of my videos. That is a sign for the YouTube algorithm to show my content to more people. And if you're seeking more guidance, you can book a reading on my website for a personal consultation. I do natal chart readings, looking at your general potential, strengths, weaknesses, karmic purpose, love, career, things like that. Predictive readings like year ahead or solar return, the latter best done around your birthday. Relationship consultations, we can look at the best place in the world you should move to, or pick the important date for a good moment, elect a good chart for your important event. All of that is at anastasia.astrology.com. On there, you can also sign up for my natal astrology course. Astrology is life-changing. It's as important as many other knowledge, science type things that you possess, potentially even more important because it gets you in touch with yourself. And through knowing yourself, you improve your relationships and you get closer with a lot of people. So join my course. It begins in September. Not only you will explore and understand yourself better, you will also build connections with me and other people in the class. So definitely a great opportunity. I forgot to say that if you also wanted to say thank you, there is a way to buy me a tea, a coffee, a croissant. Any token of appreciation you have, you'd like to share, is appreciated by me. Before one other announcement, I have created Moon in Cancer 3 candles. These were sold out, the first edition and the second edition. So this is the third edition of the lunar candle. Look how pretty. It's decorated with the silver foil, and it captures the moon in rulership, the most abundant, the best at manifesting. So pick yours up. They don't usually last very long because it has this like soothing, relaxing property. And these candles are really amazing for improving your sleep, helping with fertility, helping with manifestation. This is the candle to light up if you're feeling stressed or anxious, right at the time of the new moon as you're setting intentions. And, you know, just in general, it could be very helpful. I recommend it very strongly for people born with the moon in Capricorn or moon in Scorpio, the signs of fall and detriment for the moon. And if your natal moon is in the 6th, 8th, or 12th houses, it conjoins, squares, opposes Saturn. So we have a new moon in Gemini at 6 degrees 25 minutes Gemini, meaning it's especially important if you have planets 3 degrees before, 3 degrees after mutable signs. Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces. So check out your chart. If you have planets between 3 to 9 degrees of those signs, it may be particularly life-changing for you. It happens on Monday, May 26th at 11:02 p.m. Eastern. So if you are in Europe, in Asia, then for you it's going to be May 27th. New moons always symbolize new beginnings. Here we have new beginnings in the sign of the intellect, the sign of the mind. So it's a sign of new ideas. It's a sign of curious and open mind and thinking that pushes you outside of your comfort zone and forces you to explore. This is a beginning of a 6 months long cycle that is helpful for speech, helpful for writing, helpful for defending your perspective, for sharing your thoughts in a verbal form, in a written form. It can bring focus on communication and travel. We do have the ruler of the this new moon be in the sign of rulership. It's Mercury in Gemini, so it allows for certain fluidity and cleverness and curiosity, very powerful kind of curiosity. There is ability to multitask. There is ability to problem solve. There is, strong kind of ability to, I guess, build things that require a lot of thinking, like building a website, building some kind of design in your house, right? Like if you wanted to build a shed, you have more mental strength, more mental power. It's a great time for negotiation. It's a great time for signing contracts. So with this new moon, it's a new idea, but it's also an opportunity to kind of bring the idea from the realm of the mind into the real world. You may be noticing a strong desire to learn a new language, a strong desire to go back to school. Again, some kind of website building, YouTube starting, video content idea that comes to you. Maybe messages you're sending, meetings you're scheduling, a lot of this kind of like logistical, even sales. It could be a great time to like dust off your old things, old items that you maybe wanted to sell for a while, but you haven't known how to do it, and create a profile somewhere and sell them. And travel. I also really like this new moon for setting on a journey or maybe planning a trip. Mercury sextile Saturn and Neptune at the time of this new moon. So we have both the discernment and practicality and groundedness and realism of Saturn needed to achieve the dreams of Neptune. So generally a really nice new moon, right? Can't complain. Jupiter is co-present. It's still there. It's about to leave Gemini in just a couple of weeks for a really fertile, abundant Cancer, but it's still here. It's still co-present. So you're growing, you're expanding on many levels. You're beginning a new cycle that will last 6 months. On some levels, you're actually closing a chapter of having Jupiter in Gemini for the last year. So reflect back on how much your life, or reflect on how much your life has changed since Jupiter entered Gemini in late May 2024, as Jupiter is about to leave. Please share also, how has your life changed? As you're listening to the horoscopes for your sign, you can also pay attention to these areas of your life and think of how much have you transformed in the year that we've just, we're wrapping up the Gemini year. Let's talk about the 12 rising signs. I recommend listening for your rising sign, but you're welcome to listen to your sun or moon if you resonate with that more. Again, highly recommend this beautiful Moon in Cancer 3 creation. It smells like moonflower nectar and it's decorated with silver foil. Helps with fertility, manifestation, sleep, rest, and emotional stability. Find it on my website. And let's dive in. If you are an Aries rising, there's a new moon in your third house. So Gemini and third house have a lot in common. It is the house of communication, everyday life, schedules, messages, cars, transportation, siblings, neighbors, community. So with the new moon here, you are beginning something new in your everyday life. It could be as small as starting to go on daily walks because you want your mind to be clear in the morning, right? Or going outside before you start your day. Or as big as starting a business, as learning a new skill, maybe, partnering up with a sibling, right? Third house could offer you a chance to start a blog, a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, projects that require you to be more visible or more involved with your community. Changes to your daily travel, daily transportation. Maybe you're starting to work from home more, or you're actually going to work, or you're getting a new job that is much closer to your home, so now you can walk. There may be new possibilities in the life of a sibling. A sibling gets married or has a child, and so your life is transformed through their life transforming. The ruler of the new moon is Mercury. It conjoins this new moon. It also rules your 6th house. So some kind of positive change in your everyday life that improves your work situation, solves the problems you've been facing, or a positive development to help better your health, because there is that sextile from Mercury to Saturn and Neptune in the 1st. Very strong vibes when it comes to health. Also personal initiative. I really like this for learning, for starting a business, for maybe asking how your skills and knowledge can be helpful for your community. And if you need help manifesting, my newest edition of Moon in Cancer candles is here, and it captures the empowered moon in Cancer, which can help you manifest and make your dreams come true. Find it at anastasiadoesastrology.com, and you can also book a reading on there. If you are a Taurus rising, there's a new moon in your 2nd house. Money and values are on the menu with this new moon. We've had Jupiter in your house of finances for about a year at this point. How has it been? Has it brought new ideas, new investments, new money-making opportunities potentially? So this new moon takes that and encourages you to move further, to keep going. Right? There may be a new idea coming your way. You've been thinking about investing in a specific stock. The new moon comes around and you're like, how about I diversify and invest in a different stock or more stocks? Maybe you've been saving for something and the new moon offers you a chance to invest. Maybe you've been getting ready to talk to your boss about a new job possibility or a raise, right? The new moon conjoins Mercury, and Mercury rules speech. It rules your house of money. It rules your house of pleasure. So talking about kind of improving your role, getting more money, discussing your financial strategy with a financial advisor, all of that is a great possibility. Because the 2nd house also represents our values, you're also looking at things that are important to you, right? Maybe in the past you've thought about buying a studio, let's say, but now you're in a relationship and you're talking about having a child and you're like, okay, I should actually save up a little bit longer. Maybe I can start a high yield savings account and actually look at buying a 2-bedroom. So some kind of priority shift in regards to your relationships, in regards to children and the future are likely. Especially with Mercury, like I said, conjoining the new moon and ruling your 5th house of children. Mercury also sextiles Saturn and Neptune in the 12th, so that also kind of reads as pursuing dreams and maybe using your resources. Oops, oh my God, sorry. I didn't realize I was just gonna move them. Never mind. It's too much to explain, but I'm okay. I just freaked out for a second. So yeah, so shifts and maybe opportunities to spend money on something that is healthy for you, right? 12th house is mental health, spirituality, esoteric things. So if you're thinking, for example, of taking an astrology course or learning something, now is a good time. And my class begins in September. So if you wanted to join, you can join today at anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also book a reading on there. For the beautiful Gemini rising, there's a new moon in your 1st house. So for a year now, we've had Jupiter in your 1st house. Maybe it was encouraging you to teach or share your wisdom with other people or kind of explore new possibilities. And now we get a new moon about a month before Uranus is going to enter your 1st house. So there is a lot of action in your house of identity. And this new moon really wants you to ask the question, who am I? And what do I want to be known for? And so your mind is likely to be very busy. And there may be a lot of questions around identity, dreams, career, goals, even your family life, right? There may be changes happening in your home. Let's say children moving out, going to college, and you now have so much more free time. You know, it's time for you to reinvent yourself. So this new moon could be about that. Mercury rules your fourth, and it's co-present, conjoining the moon. It could be about moving. If you've always wanted to move, maybe now is the time. Maybe it's, what are you waiting for? There may be new partnerships because Mercury sextiles Saturn and Neptune at the time of the new moon in your 11th house of dreams and new possibilities and friendships and networks. So I can also see that being highlighted. Maybe it's about, again, sort of you shining in the collective, you expressing your ideas, even you going on social media. For some of you, it could be about health and committing to better habits, better protocols around your diet, exercising more, and maybe taking better care of yourself. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. Pick up my lovely Moon in Cancer candle. This falls in your second house of money, so it can help you manifest wealth and stability. For the beautiful Cancer rising, there's a new moon in your 12th house. So it illuminates your sector of mental health. It reminds you of all the things that you do that do not serve you, asking you to perhaps let them go, to release your self-defeating tendencies. It could be about a better schedule, less time spent on social media, going to bed earlier, right? Prioritizing yourself. Mercury is the ruler of this new moon. It also rules your third house of everyday life. So it's very much an opportunity to do some spring cleaning and let some things go. As well as in the 12th house, we will look at things like mental health. So maybe starting therapy, finding a therapist. There are also things like imagination, creative projects. So committing to your creative projects, committing to your spirituality, meditating more regularly, doing other sort of soulful spiritual things that are good for you, like journaling. Maybe you're examining, I'm sort of going back again to letting things go, but maybe you're examining your self-defeating talk and things you say to yourself and how you doubt yourself or fear the future. All of that could be, it's a really lovely new moon, I think, to cleanse, because Jupiter is about to go into your first house and it will infuse your life with this new air of possibilities. So how are you going to meet it, right? Like what final kind of finishing touches need to be put on your personality? But also, like I said, connecting with your imagination, spirituality, your passions that you really have within you that you haven't touched or addressed. 12th house is also often the place of loneliness and isolation and being in a foreign land or in a faraway place. So for some of you, it could be about moving and going on like a journey to a foreign place. If you're seeking help with your new beginnings and with Jupiter about to enter Cancer, I recommend my Moon in Cancer 3. It captures the moon in rulership. It falls in your first house of identity, so it has a very gentle, relaxing energy, can improve sleep, fertility, and help with manifestation. Find it on my website. On there, you can also book a reading or sign up for my natal astrology course, which begins in September. For the beautiful Leo rising, there's a new moon in your 11th house. So Jupiter has been in your 11th house since last May. It brought new friendships, new relationships, new networking possibilities, new dreams. And so this new moon is asking you, what are you going to do about it, right? Like, what are you going to do about these new ideas, new connections that have been coming into your life? So the new moon in the 11th in Gemini is a very electric, curious, intelligent time. It could be great for networking and negotiating, starting partnerships with friends, beginning a YouTube channel or a podcast where you're collaborating with a friend, then you're just joking around and exchanging ideas. There may be opportunities to move up in your career. Mercury is the ruler. It conjoins the new moon, and it also rules your second house of money and your 11th house of friendships. So lucrative collaborations I see for you guys, and a chance to maybe get closer to the people you are aligned with and create new partnerships, new alliances, even, you know, have like a meetup with your friends where you go and work out at a new place every day, or you go and get brunches every Sunday, and like coming up with some kind of exciting practice is likely here. Mercury also sextiles Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house. So it kind of feels like new beginnings might involve travel, education, writing, publishing. So maybe you're exploring dreams and alliances that help you with those goals. Do share how this resonates, and if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com and sign up for my natal astrology course. It begins in September. For the lovely Virgo rising, there's a new moon in the 10th house, the house of career, status, reputation, and your public life. We've had Jupiter here for about a year. It maybe brought new professional possibilities, maybe a possibility of multiple directions, and not necessarily a ton of clarity on how to narrow it down. So this new moon is building up on what Jupiter introduced, and it very much highlights your professional sector. And it's asking you what is realistic, I think, on some level, and also what do you want to be known for? Because 10th house is the house of like social visibility, social recognition, public recognition. So it may encourage you to prioritize a certain gig and commit to a certain job that could become a career. It could maybe bring a new job opportunity into your life. There may be opportunities to become more visible, to become a leader, to become a writer, a teacher, a guide for other people. I can see getting a raise or starting your own business and venturing on your own path is likely here. The ruler of this new moon, Mercury, sextiles Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house at the time of the new moon. So it does feel like your mind is on your finances and your relationships with other people. So perhaps the professional new beginnings that arrive allow you to pay off debts and let go of toxic and difficult relationships, or they encourage you to enter new partnerships that can actually serve you better and help you in the future. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for positive future developments, sign up for my natal astrology course. It begins in September. It can teach you to understand yourself better and build healthier relationships with people around you. And you can also book a reading. All of that is at anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Libra rising, there's a new moon in your 9th house. This is your house of education, travel, writing, publishing, expansion of the mind, and expansion of the world. So we've had Jupiter here for about a year, and it maybe encouraged you to travel, to study, to teach, to write. And so the new moon builds upon that, right? It will continue the developments introduced by Jupiter, and it will urge you to learn a foreign language, maybe teach a foreign language or teach something. I am teaching an astrology course, right? So I'm definitely already on that path. By the way, if you want to sign up, you can do that on my website in the services. So teaching or studying, going on a trip, booking a trip if you've been thinking about one for a while. Mercury is conjunct the new moon, and it rules it, and it also rules the 12th house of, you know, faraway places. So I can definitely see you going on a journey. Legal matters, starting a legal matter, or if you are a lawyer, an aspiring lawyer, maybe you're passing a bar or moving ahead with your desire to become a lawyer, or switching jobs that are in that field. In any way that your life can expand and grow, and any kinds of adventures that you're seeking, this moon represents. This new moon is here for, right? So for some, it might be about picking up that book and reading that novel you've been thinking about. For others, it might be about going out more and practicing your French at a French meetup. Or maybe you're writing. Maybe you're also looking within and asking what beliefs you have that affect your reality. And since this is a very intelligent, like intellectually stimulating new moon, this could be the time when you're like really, really self-aware and clear that certain beliefs and ideals are no longer aligned with you. And a lot of it can also be connected to relationships, because Mercury is sextiling Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house, right? So maybe you used to believe that you can only date someone you met in real life. And with this new moon coming along, you realize that there are plenty of examples around you of people that met online and they're happy together. And so you're starting to open yourself up to that kind of thing. So it could be very visible and easy to describe, or could be just all in your head and more mental. If you're seeking more guidance, visit anastasiadoesastrology.com to book your reading, register for my natal astrology course, and pick up your Moon in Cancer 3 candle. This one highlights your house of career, and it could be helpful for manifesting, creating more ease, stability, improving your fertility. And it's really just one of my all-time favorite candles I make. So check it out. If you are a beautiful Scorpio rising, there's a new moon in your 8th house. So this is all about relationships with other people. It's about energy exchanges, money exchanges, resources exchanges. We've had Jupiter here for about a year, so maybe it brought new contracts into your life. By the way, how has that been? Have you noticed other people being more supportive with you? You may have also discovered hidden interests and passions, right? And committed to something in your life, like a new interest or a new relationship or a new kind of even metaphysical, astrological, Reiki passion. So the new moon in the 8th house can bring up a new idea. It could be the time when you and your partner are talking about, we have this savings account, maybe let's open another one and invest it. There could be shifts in your partner's money, and as a result, shifts in your money. Like a partner gets an inheritance, they get a new job, or they quit their job, and so there are some kind of adjustments that are happening in terms of resources. If you are, let's say, you're getting divorced, you're maybe negotiating some kind of child support, the new moon can also highlight that and offer opportunities to come to an agreement. I do like this new moon, and it does have very nice problem-solving energy as Mercury sextiles Saturn and Neptune in your 6th house. So it feels like you're negotiating something. And it could be professional, right? Negotiating professional things, or it could be maybe more romantic, in a romantic relationship. What is one thing for sure is you're very kind of aware of what is fair and what is not. And so the changes you're making there in the name of creating more balance and fairness in your relationships, agreements, even in your life, because sometimes the new moon in the 8th can offer you a chance to heal something and tend to a part of you that is vulnerable, somewhere where there's maybe an energy block and it requires healing. I'd love to hear how this resonates. If you need some help with soothing your soul and healing, I have just created my Moon in Cancer 3 candles. This is the most popular candle. It always gets sold out every year I make it. Very soothing, very relaxing, can improve your emotional well-being, sleep, fertility, and help you manifest. Find it on my website. On there, you can also book a reading or register for my natal astrology course. The lovely Sagittarius rising, there is a new moon in your 7th house. So we've had Jupiter, the planet of growth, in your house of relationships. And this new moon takes the energy of growth in relationships and moves it further, right? So if you met someone in the last year, the new moon may offer you a chance to move in with that person, or get engaged, or get married, or have a baby. right? It's like some kind of romantic development. If you're single, maybe you meet that person around the time of this new moon. It's a powerful window of opportunity. Partnerships that help your career, because Mercury rules the new moon and conjoins it, and it's also in charge of your professional sector. So it's like you meet a mentor, you meet an ally, a guide, somebody who can help move your career forward. We're also looking here at maybe talking about relationships, maybe thinking about relationships, maybe putting yourself out there and starting to date. Mercury sextile Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house. So seeking pleasure romantically, where you're either getting ready to date or you and your partner may be starting some kind of new chapter. 5th house is also the house of children. So for sure, for those of you in relationships, it feels like they're important developments. And for those single, maybe it's a business partnership. Maybe it's about your relationship with yourself, right? And being the best partner you can be for you and taking yourself out and treating yourself with love and kindness, so that if you seek a romantic partner, it can come and be attracted to your sort of wholesome, happy energy. Do share how this resonates. For more guidance, visit anastasiadoesastrology.com and book your reading on there. I also really recommend my Moon in Cancer 3 candle. This is a brand new edition. I just made it. It captures the moon in rulership and is great for manifestation, sleep, and fertility. For the lovely Capricorn rising, there's a new moon in your 6th house of work, health, and service. We've had Jupiter here for about a year. Have you noticed that there's more work, that there's maybe more desire to take care of your health or help people? The new moon continues that Jupiterian growth-oriented energy and encourages you to commit to taking better care of yourself. So we may see developments around health. Let's say you start some kind of cycle of procedures that is meant to help your back pain, or you start eating better. Mercury energy, right? You're doing research, you're getting like sort of excited about things. Mercury, as the ruler, also rules your 9th house, and 9th house has to do with higher knowledge and education and travel. So maybe there are also some professional developments that require you to travel or to move, or just maybe like an interesting growth opportunity at your job. So health improvements, streamlining your work, right? Figuring out what is necessary, what is not. Mercury sextile Saturn and Neptune in the 4th house, so it can also be connected to your family, where maybe you're helping a family member to take care of their health, and so there are some opportunities to figure things out, right? Like get some help, or like let's say you have an elderly family member, right? And the new moon in the 6th house is an opportunity to either have like your sibling help you out, or you're hiring someone who can deliver groceries to your parents, hiring a cleaning lady, anyone who can sort of be your employee and can make your life a little bit better is a good possibility here. And maybe taking care of the family member's health, taking care of a pet, because 6th house also rules pets. Getting a pet, I like all of that. If you're looking for more guidance, visit anastasiadoesastrology.com and join my natal astrology course. It begins in September and it will change your life. If you are a beautiful Aquarius rising, there's a new moon in your 5th house, the place of romance, pleasure, parenthood, children. We've had Jupiter here for a year. Did it bring a new love into your life? Did it encourage you to discover new passions? Did it highlight your love for fun? The new moon builds on that, right? Like let's say you've discovered that you really like dancing, and so the new moon in the 5th might be the time you sign up for a dance class or join a dance competition. There could be pregnancy for some of you. There could be a new creative pregnancy. Let's say you're single, right? And you have no interest in dating. Maybe you get like a creative idea. You start writing a novel, or you start building, like, I don't know, making a garden, some kind of like a YouTube channel or a website, a place where you can share your knowledge or your insights with other people. If you're single and you're dating, this can also be a sign of starting a new relationship and having a good time. Maybe you're putting yourself out there and you're being kind of open-minded and letting yourself date different kinds of people. Having Gemini be your 5th house suggests that you can be quite open-minded when it comes to sex and dating sometimes. So it could be about like exploring that side of your personality. I do like this though for like creative processes, right? Because Mercury, the ruler of the new moon, also sextiles Saturn and Neptune in the 3rd house, and 3rd house is your business or your everyday life, your communication, your skills and hobbies. So maybe there's this chance to take your knowledge and your interests and turn it into a business, or connect with your interests and make them part of your everyday life. There's like a nice flow there between pleasure and more structured way of approaching it. Let me know how this resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to analyze your chart, or you can also join my natal astrology course. It begins in September. Last but not least, the beautiful Pisces rising. There's a new moon in your 4th house of family, home, living situation. We've had Jupiter here for about a year. It's about to leave, but maybe it brought opportunities to move, to have someone move in with you, to sell or buy real estate, to maybe even get involved and start working in real estate or property management, anything like that. Please share, how has it been? Maybe even new developments in the lives of your family members, your parents. The new moon highlights that, encapsulates it, and maybe makes it more conscious, right? So similarly, again, changes in the home, opportunities to make home improvements. Maybe you're putting a wall and separating a space in your like little Manhattan apartment. Maybe you are, redefining your relationship with your family. Maybe you're talking about things and you're kind of being more playful and healing old dynamics. Mercury conjoins this new moon and it rules your 4th and 7th houses. So for sure it feels like for those of you in relationships, there may be this opportunity to like move in with your partner or buy property together or change your dynamic in your home somehow. So I do like it for that. And if you're single, maybe it's about healing like childhood wounds, or also moving or creating more like, Gemini being your 4th house potentially suggests that you're used to your home being like full of technology or books or conversation. So maybe it's about creating these things in your home that make you feel at ease and happy and secure. And for some of you, it will be like improving the technology. For someone else, it may be about buying books. Maybe having conversations. There's a sextile from Mercury in the 4th to Saturn and Neptune in the 2nd. So it feels like there is supportive energy between the houses of money and the houses of property. So making money from a property, having a family member help you out financially, investing into a home, all of those are fun possibilities. If you need help navigating any difficult transits or just improving your fertility, sleep, and emotional well-being, my Moon in Cancer 3 is the newest addition to my magical candle and oil family. Highly recommend this. It falls in your 5th house of joy, so it can always be good for like improving your overall well-being. Find it on my website, and you can also book a reading on there or register for my natal astrology course. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and supporting me with the likes, comments, subscriptions. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Send this video to a friend. Tell them to follow me. And enjoy this new moon. It looks good. So I think we'll have a good time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.